Step 1 is to take full responsibility for everything. Just accept it. The world is extremely unfair and it always will be. If you keep focusing on the unfairness of your organization, your manager, the economy, your language limitation, your nationality, even your gender, your age, or your job function, no matter what you do, if you blame external circumstance for your lack of success, your family, your kids, and the generations after you will also suffer from your mediocrity. When you think the fact that your lack of success is because of external obstacles, you are actually giving power to whatever you are blaming. You cannot change your nationality or your age. You cannot control that your organization value engineers more than they value sales and marketing team, and you cannot control the economic factors. So instead, focus your attention on things you can control. Life is full of choices, and every choice we make shapes our future. If you want to create an extraordinary career, life, you need to take full responsibility for your action, your own decisions. Stop blaming external factors for your career stagnation. I've heard so many directors saying, but I'm in this organization and this is how promotion happens. They will not consider me for that senior position unless I have an MBA, because I'm not American, because my French is not good enough. There's always something you can do. There's always a way to achieve your goal. And when you are giving the power to things you cannot control, for example, the economy, your organization, your manager, your age, your nationality, you feel powerless, you feel hopeless. Whatever it is that you are putting after that word, because, you are giving power to them. But imagine if this were a life or death scenario, you would have no other choice but to succeed, and you would succeed. Some leaders in the middle management give up their own career growth after they reach certain age. That number could be 50 or 55. But now, because you have a way out, you have a backup plan. The worst case scenario is you stay where you are. You still have a job. You still will be able to pay the bills. You can support your family. You still have your house. You have good holidays. So you have already imagined a scenario where you have an average life and average career. You'll be fine. And that's why you will fail, because you have a way out. You are going to take that way, the easy way. As soon as you face rejections, as soon as things get difficult. When I was in the middle management at one of the Fortune 500 companies, everything was fine. I had nice colleagues. I had a well-paying job. We can afford a house, nice holidays. I have beautiful kids, a very supportive husband. So why did I want more? Why did I want to become the top 1% of an organization? It was because I found myself in a situation where becoming extraordinary, having a bigger success, wasn't just an option, but a necessity. One of the things that motivated me most was my family. Obviously, I'm a Chinese, and I live in Belgium with my kids and my husband. But my Chinese side of my family, they still live in China. If you're like me, you live abroad, you can probably relate to this. That even if your parents have another 20 years to live, you don't actually have 20 years with them if you see each other only once a year. In reality, you have only 20 visits left. So my clock is ticking. Family time is extremely important, especially for my kids. They live in Europe, but I want them to spend as much time as possible with my Chinese family. Also, learn the language, learn the culture. So with this international life, it comes with a cost. Instead of budgeting for 1 or 2 visits per year, I don't want budget to be the limitation at all. And the second obstacle is the comfort. It takes about 20 hours to travel from Belgium to China or China to Belgium door to door. As my family members in China are getting older, approaching their 70s and 80s, I want them to travel in business class, in comfort, with a driver taking them to the airport and from the airport. So when I eventually become the vice president during my mid-30s, not only did I feel more satisfied in my day-to-day job, I got to make bigger impact, but also my income increased. Not only did I have a company car, but also a full-time driver. We no longer need to budget for these travels. So the thought of 20 visits left was enough for me to get my driving force. Whether my reason makes sense to you or not does not even matter. This is my reason, and it drives me. I do not give myself the choice even to think there's another option but to succeed. You need to find your own reason. What makes you feel you have no choice but to succeed? Whatever success means to you. I was successful in climbing the corporate ladder. When I start a business, I become a successful entrepreneur as well. This is the spirit of how I do things. Because when you give up your goal, you give up yourself. You give up who you are. One of the scariest things that I never want to experience is to give up my own goal and use the excuse that I'm giving up because I want to spend more time with my kids and my husband. When I got married, my husband and I made a conscious choice to not give up our goal and ourselves. I don't think these two goals are contradictory. Being successful does not mean you sacrifice your family, getting a divorce, sacrificing your health, getting a cancer. Achieving greatness in corporate or entrepreneur life is never easy. If it were, everyone would do it. Everyone will be executive. Everyone will be a billionaire. You cannot reach the top 1% by luck or accident. We choose to not believe in that, and that has never happened to us as well. You will need desire, determination, strategy, skills, discipline, and lots of actions. I do not mean work hard on your job. You need to take decisive actions that sets you apart from the crowd. If you follow the same path as everyone else, you will end up just like them, the other 99%. Step 2 is to shift your perspective. Instead of seeing things as happening to you, see them as happening for you. We often compare ourselves to others and feel that we are not enough because of the difference in our upbringing, education, location, the way we look, the way we sound. So instead of looking at these differences and see them as disadvantages, you can focus on how to turn them into advantages and use them to your benefit. You have unique traits that cannot be easily copied by others, and you just need to learn to recognize and leverage them. I can share an example of how I turned my disadvantages into advantages. I was born in the 80s in China. We had very little money since I was born. We rarely had savings of more than 100 RMB at the time, which is like $10. We would eat expired food or even they have gone bad because we couldn't afford to waste anything. Growing up, I have never had birthday celebrations. I never had a holiday. I have never seen my family took a day off except on Sundays. This is nothing unusual when you grow up in China, and this is neither advantage or disadvantage. But when I moved to Europe, this became my advantage. Because compared to many of my colleagues who were born in Europe, they grew up in comfort. Their parents had stable jobs, they have a house, they have warm water in the house, they have 1 or 2 cars, they celebrate their birthdays, their friends' birthdays, they go to holidays. These colleagues, they have less drive and ambition to achieve more. However, I see this as my advantage, not just for myself, but also for my kids and for the generations to come. Because of these situations that I faces in my early life, which most of my colleagues in Europe have never experienced or even imagined, I have unlimited source of drive, desire, and determination. I wanted to create a different life, an extraordinary life, and make positive impact for our families and for generations to come. Step 3 is to accept yourself 100% and from there evolve to a new identity. When I was working my way up in the organization, I've seen that people's perception about me does not benefit my transition from middle management to senior leadership positions. So I started my career in China and later I moved to Europe. I became the global director of internal communication at Volvo when I was 28 at its company's global headquarters in Europe. This job also came with high exposure, obviously, because I'm the owner of all the global communication platforms and my name and profile photo were on every internet webpage of our company, and all these town hall meeting invitations were sent by me. Coming from China to Europe, many colleagues see me as hardworking and a doer. I got things done on budget ahead of time and I was quiet on meetings. When decisions were made, I always implement and I always delivered. This perception did not serve me well to be seen as someone who could be the material of executive positions or as a leader that others want to work for. For years, my career also suffered because of this perception. Not only I was not promoted to the next level from middle management, but also in many cross-functional meetings, my topic and my work were either at the bottom of the agenda or sometimes even not on the agenda. So how did I turn that around? Here's what I did. To start with, I have a full acceptance to who I am. I am not my colleagues in North America. They are brilliant with their words and they are very confident talking in meetings. They're great in storytelling. I accept that I'm a quiet person and I'm grateful that I'm an introvert. It is an advantage that I do not speak native English. So speaking is just one part of the communication. Asking and listening are bigger parts. Given the fact that I'm not very talkative and I don't like to get attention from others, the best way to leverage my identity is to become a great listener and ask very good questions. So how did I use that to my favor? To start with, I connect this identity to the perception I want my colleagues to have about me. When I do that, the attention is also on the person who answered the questions, no longer on me. Second, I wanted to be someone who does not need to say much, but when I do speak, I make sure it counts. I can communicate concisely and effectively, instead of talking 5 to 10 minutes to make a point. With storytellings, I'm done under 30 seconds. To live in this new identity, I began to focus on preparation for meetings. I invested significant amount of effort in doing my homework, like pre-reading materials, connecting with various stakeholders before the meetings. And during these meetings, my focus moved from just understand my job responsibility to broader business context. The question I ask different stakeholders not only just stay at the situational level, but also get to the root cause of these topics. This new identity really worked. With all these preparations, I start to go to these management meetings, asking questions that directly point at the blind spots, not just focus on my own area, which is communication. I began to challenge the team, the management team, and provide them with broader perspectives. A few months after trying this new identity, I start to see the change. I became the essential part of the leadership team. As a team, we make better decisions, as my input also facilitated a more diversified and insightful decision-making process. I was very happy with the result because I was recognized not only just as someone with functional expertise, but as a business leader. And this identity shift has elevated both my topics and my name to the top on the leadership team agenda and the board meeting agenda. Step 4 is only take advice from people who have what you want. Along the journey, you may feel frustrated, demotivated on some days, or even begin to question whether it's worth the effort to achieve your goal. All of these feelings are valid and may be true. It's not unique. The only difference between the people who have made it and the people who failed is how they reacted to it. One thing you need to know is whatever you are experiencing right now, the difficulties, the obstacles, the failures, they are exactly what everyone else has gone through. The only difference is how they reacted to these challenges compared to the others. These people who have reached the success you would like to have, they didn't have fewer failures, rejections, or frustrations. They have had their fair share as well, if not more. The reason why so few people reach their goal is that they give up when things get tough, when everything seems to be against them, when organizations change, when their sponsors left, or when they didn't get the interview, when they didn't get the offer. And it's way easier to blame external factors. For example, LinkedIn does not work. Recession, bad luck, bad timing. It's my age, my manager is the problem. My nationality, the way I look, how I sound. And this is when 99% of others quit their goals. And this is precisely the moment when you must remind yourself to keep going. Instead, keep learning from the mistakes and ask yourself empowering questions. So what are empowering questions? For example, if you are facing rejections, you want to ask yourself how it is happening for you to achieve your goal. What did you learn from there? And I do not mean keep doing the same things, just hoping for different results. And don't ask yourself these empowering questions. So what does that look like? It looks like this. Why does this always happening to me? I knew from the beginning it would not work. And this is how you separate yourself from those who spend 25 years, 30 years, or even 40 years in a career wishing for a position they are not cut out for, only to eventually give up. I often get questions like this. Why do you push yourself like this? Why not just enjoying your kids, your hobby, your life outside of work? Why not be grateful for what you already have? Relax, acknowledge that you are already doing well. It is true, with or without the next level of success, you are already doing fine. You can take a break, you can relax, you can put your feet up, or accept that the peak of your career has already passed. When you get comments like this, it can feel like people are questioning your value. You may feel misunderstood or like you don't belong to your network. But here's the thing, take a look at the people who tell you to enjoy life. Do you want their life? The truth is, average people don't actually enjoy their life that much as well. When you choose whether to listen to people's advice, ask yourself this question, do you want their life? If the answer is yes, then go ahead, take that advice. But if they don't have what you want, ignore them. You can call me unrealistic. You can also call me too ambitious. But when I talk with average people, I just finish the conversation as soon as I can and then I leave. They might think they do because they have been surrounding themselves with mediocre people who are similar to them. No matter what you do, somebody is going to have a problem with it. You can try to present yourself perfectly to the world. You can be kind, generous, respectful. Still, somebody will find problems with you just being yourself. You want to remember this. Most people want the version of you that serves them. This could also include your manager, who wants you to stay in the current position for another 2 years, 3 years, until you have served your manager to get his or her promotion so that you can change your job. But here's the good news. Not everyone's opinion matters. In fact, most people's opinions do not matter at all. The only opinions that should matter to you are those people you respect and trust. And these people could also be your family members who want you to stay at home more, travel less. They probably do not want you to relocate for that position because now that version of you, even though it's serving your future self, your future goal, it is not serving them because they would like to see you more often with 20 minutes drive. And this version of you staying in the same serves them better. The same goes to your friends and colleagues who you have outgrown. You are making them rather uncomfortable because they prefer to hang out with the former version of you where you both complain about inflations, complain about organization, your managers. You have nothing but the past to share. Instead, I want to look at the people around you. Look at those who have the life you'd like to have, who have the career you would like to have, who are where you want to be. These are the people you should really listen to and ignore everyone else. They're just noise. If you're serious about having an extraordinary career and reaching the top 1% in an organization, you probably understand by now that a perfect resume alone is not going to get you there. You will need to work on yourself, not just on your job. You need to learn how not to think like 99%. And also, you want to become excellent in branding and marketing yourself during job applications when you're getting sponsors within your organization. You can start by booking a free strategy call to speak with either myself or one of my team members. On the call, we're going to evaluate if you're a good fit for the program. You can find the link in the description below. I hope to see you on the call soon. In my coaching program, the 1% Academy, I have a comprehensive system that covers all these aspects. These are the exact steps I took to achieve all my career goals and become the top 1% of 2 Fortune 500 organizations. For now, you can watch this video while you are stuck at middle management. I'll see you there.